Let me share an interesting fact here. The next three speakers in our lineup are all alumni of Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. They have, in their own inspiring ways, brought much pride and joy to their alma mater. Light always brings the warmth with it. To give us all a very nice, warm welcome, with immense privilege, I humbly invite Sri R.J. Rathnakar, the Managing Trustee of Sri Satya Sai Central Trust. His unwavering dedication has been instrumental in steering the Sri Satya Sai mission forward. Please join me in inviting Sri R.J. Rathnakar with a thunderous applause.
I offer my prayerful salutations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. We have a galaxy of people who are educating this country, congregating in these holy precincts of Prashanti Nilayam today for National Education Summit. We have very acclaimed people from NCERT, CIT. We have very eminent persons from different NGOs, from CSR partners who are supporting Vidya Vahini in many ways. We have people who are dedicatedly working on inclusive education. Also, our very dear brothers and sisters who are volunteering in Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vahini with so much commitment and dedication. With all this, we have Satya Sai Central Trust, which is forming a background. We have Sri Chakravarti sir here, Sri Naganand sir here again, and we have Vice Chancellor Raghavendra Prasad also is here. And such a wonderful morning today, and as I was coming from Mandir to this summit, few thoughts came into my mind. What better place than Prashanti Nilayam can host such a beautiful summit? Prashanti Nilayam is a place where millions have learnt lessons for their lives, found direction to their lives. The great teaching happened here and continue to happen here for life. The Master, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, has inspired millions of people across the globe. Few thoughts which were coming to my mind when I was coming here is that when I see the congregation, I saw the number of participants from various fields, various backgrounds, various verticals of education. How Swami started very early in his mission, giving emphasis on education alone. The most formative years of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba were spent, most energetic years of his life were spent in creating educational institutions, creating top-class institutions which will guide and mold youngsters who will be very, very useful and good citizens of this country. Way back in 1968, Baba started a college for women in a very backward area called Anantapur district. Perhaps nobody would have even coined the words of women empowerment and things like that. Baba had a beautiful campus for them in 1968. Just to, maybe you can, for you to imagine, till early 2000, maybe 4, 5, Anantapur district used to figure in most backward districts as far as the World Bank is concerned. Whenever World Bank takes which are the most backward districts in the country, Anantapur district would always be there in that, because it is a arid region. There are no canals, no rivers here. Only people depend on only rainwater. All the crops, only crop they used to grow is groundnut, and that too, leave it to God. And if rain God comes and it happens, otherwise they have to bear the losses. From that kind of a region, that kind of a background, imagine in those 1968, Baba had created a college for women. I understand many people were very skeptical in those days, but Baba felt, no, the women of this country has to be educated, especially from a rural background. And that's how he started most of his education institutions in very remote and rural areas. In fact, when Baba was talking about creating a university, many people were not even believing it. How can there be a university in a place like Puttaparthi? Baba had given word to his mother that she had asked for a small school in this village because children did not have a school facility here, and they have to go few kilometers walking across the river. So she had asked if it's possible you do a small school, but today he has created a beautiful education ecosystem, a university itself in part of it. And bearing his name, there are over 100 schools in this country. And the most alumni from Satya Sai educational institutions are doing extremely well across the globe. All our institutions also have support of alumni, and alumni are a very active part of it. In fact, the Vice Chancellor who is sitting here also is a illustrious alumni of this beautiful, wonderful institution, Sri Satya Sai Institute of Ireland. Of course, designated as a managing trustee, but again, an alumni who is standing here and speaking here also is an alumni. As technology grew, as times changed, Baba also wanted all of us to adapt to the new changes. That's how he also felt that the teachers should also have a proper training. They should make use of all these digital platforms. In that thought process, only Satya Sai Vidya Vahini has taken shape, and it was blessed by him way back in 2010. Today, Vidya Vahini has a great presence, and I must say that it's one of the very, very iconic units of Sri Satya Sai Central Trust. And equally, Satya Sai Central Trust is committed for all the good work that Satya Sai Vidya Vahini is doing. Education is a passion for all the people who have gathered here, and more so for the founder of this beautiful mission, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. He wanted to educate as many children as possible so that they find a proper direction to their lives right from the beginning. That's how he started colleges, schools. The very fact that many people have come, there are scientists who have followed Baba. Abdul Kalam ji was a very great follower of Baba. They are very educationalists, businessmen, every walk of life. People were very keen to follow him and also emulate what he was doing. In this process, the educational institutions started by Baba have become very sort of sought after by children, students from across the country. Perhaps from 1968, I do not know how many exact numbers, that many students have graduated from these hallowed institutions, and schools also they have gone through. Emphasis in Satya Sai educational institutions was not only a regular education, but also, he said, it should be given with character. Character building also is part of the curriculum, is what Baba felt, and he introduced into educational curriculum. That's how integral education has come about. He said it should be both hand in hand, both a secular education, also your personal conduct, personal upbringing also is very important for you to be a useful citizen for this country, for the society. So that's why he integrated the value-based education. That's what he called it, value-based education. And he coined a very beautiful word, education. No, it is edu-care, he said. It is you care for the children. And by then, when you are following that, you become educated. The mere any education system gives you education and it makes you. Baba used to say anybody can study. You can do any great studies through your institutions. But without values, you only become literate. But when you have education with values, you become educated. That is what Baba emphasized. That is what is the Satya Sai education system is all about. The person who inspired millions of people across the globe created these lovely educational institutions. Now we have people who are sort of giving directions to the education in this country also are participating in this summit. You'll be surprised that Baba was only a simple 8th standard dropout. What it means to say is that your education in any portals of regular education institutions can give you degrees. But when you want to become a noble human beings, when you want to become a useful people to the society, people with values, people with national fervor, you need to be inculcated with the values. That's how Baba started these institutions, with great hope that people will come across to these institutions and learn the values. Baba used to say, what is in tank only can come in the tap. What is the water that is, the quality of water that is in the tank only will come into the tap. That's why he said the teachers should be more trained on these lines so that the students will be able to benefit from that. That is how the education in human values also came forth. Today it has been adopted across the globe. Satya Sai organizations which are in the field work of service, whether it is in India or abroad, they all have adopted this system, and the parents find it very useful for their children to go through this curriculum. So today again we have such a wonderful gathering here in this hallowed precincts of Prashant Nilayam. I am sure the next 2 days will be very, very useful. We have, in fact, have inked some of the MOUs with, first I think we did it with the Diksha portal, then we have inclusive education. We had signed with NCERT, we had signed MOU. Also we have recently also MOU with IIT Madras. And Aish, I think we have also are planning to have an MOU in this during this conference. A lot of emphasis is being done. The beauty of all this is, in fact, when we started it, Karuna Munshi ji came and said, when they were in Delhi, there was a request that Satya Sai should take up IE. We said, do we have the wherewithal to do all this? But when we looked around, Baba had already provided everything, all the resources within our own premises. Means everybody connected to Prashant Nilayam or very, some of them were authorities in this kind of IE domain. So very quickly they collected and they put up a proposal to Satya Sai Central Trust. And all the trustees said, we must take up this work and whatever resources are required, we will commit for that resources. And that work has been fantastically going on, and I'm sure very soon we will offer this beautiful product of inclusive education to the nation. I think maybe in a year or so, I do not know. It should be, we are aiming for centenary celebration of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. So hopefully we will have a grand celebration of that event also, where the culmination of all the efforts of, I think, the kind of dedication of these volunteers in Vidyavahini is unparalleled. I must say, this is the right time we should acknowledge this. It's an unparalleled. Many of them are doing very well for themselves, but they spare their time for this wonderful project, and most of them are on their own. They come here, they spend time, and they participate and in this creation of this content for the children. And I don't see a parallel to this. This is only has been possible because their love for their master Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Otherwise you cannot make people, so many people having such successful lives, having their own works, leaving them aside, coming here. So I would like all of you to, of course many of them are also volunteers. Let us put our hands together for these wonderful volunteers who have come here. So let me not take much time on this, but I would be very happy if this summit would throw up beautiful ideas for educators, the education, to improve the educational ecosystem in this country, because Baba created these institutions. Today when we look back, when he said a free education is what he was offering, today it looks very, whenever we interact with children, many of them, they are ever grateful. The alumni are very grateful because many times the burden of educating them by their parents is being borne by Baba and the Satya Sai Central Trust. So the free education is not just because there's money in the trust and they are giving free education, but Baba said education should be, when it is given, he had a very different approach to the education and also medical side. Both the institutions which he created for education and medical hospitals, he said let them be all completely free of charge to the beneficiaries. So when it is given to the hundreds and thousands of children, over a period of 5 decades. It's something which many people would not believe, but it's happening for more than 5 decades. And you see the kind of great people with social sensitivity. That is what we feel, that they all come into the society, because that creates so much of sensitivity towards your surroundings, towards society, towards your fellow people, fellow human beings. That is what these education institutions are doing. Many of them are in a very top positions, but always they remember what Baba has told, that you have to be paying back to this society because you have received it from here. So you have to pay it back to society. We see many alumni participating in a wonderful work. So that's once again, it also shows they are also part of Satyasai Vidya Vahini. And many people who have not studied also are part of Satyasai Vidya Vahini volunteers. I am grateful to Swami that he has brought all of you together and making this wonderful project something everybody in this country should be proud of. So I leave it here. In fact, yesterday Karanaji and Hari came to my office. They left me with a kit. When I saw the kit, I saw the list, I was opening batsman. Generally, I'm a tail-ender, but they saw me opening batsman. They had promoted me to opening batsman, so that's how I am here. I hope you have enjoyed next 3 days, and we will be interacting next 2-3 days. I think more on education, more on the policies, more on inclusive education. There are very great experts here. I understand we have pedagogy experts, technology experts, training experts. I am sure all that will help those who are also in this educational field, so that this is a great place where so many experts come together and they can exchange views, and it's again a learning. Baba used to say, learning never stops till you are around. So it's again a learning for all of us. Whoever is, anything that's new is told to you or you're learning for the first time, it's a great learning. And Baba said, as long as human beings are there and as long as you're around here, the learning never stops. So we keep learning, and it's again in this education summit, I wish a great success and grand success, and may Baba bless all of you for having come to this summit. Thank you. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Rathnakar sir, for your welcome address and for getting us all excited for all the sessions ahead. Your thought-provoking words have set the stage for a productive summit. May each one of us, under the wings of Sri Satyasai Vidya Vahini, with our heads bowed and our spirits soaring, work hard to serve towards our national education system.